The narrative opens with a compelling scene of urgency, introducing the female protagonist Mu, who is racing against time. Her singular focus is to reach the football stadium before the final whistle, driven by deep-seated desire to witness the male lead Lon in his element. Upon her arrival, a fleeting moment of hope blossoms within her as she catches his eye across the field. She's momentarily convinced that the smile gracing his lips is a silent, intimate greeting meant solely for her. This fragile illusion is brutally shattered when she traces his gaze and finds it resting with unmistakable affection upon another young woman. The emotional wound is immediate and profound. Seeking solace, her eyes drop to the engagement ring on her finger, a tangible symbol of their connection that triggers a poignant recollection. This flashback reveals the true nature of their betrothal, not a union born of romance, but a strategic arrangement meticulously orchestrated by Lon's family, who held an unshakable belief that Mu's inherent luck made her the perfect, albeit emotionally inconvenient, match for their son. Lon's own simmering resentment toward this enforced commitment was a constant, palpable presence. Returning to the humiliating reality of the present, and propelled by a volatile mix of desperation and unwavering, though unreciprocated affection, Mu makes a fateful, impulsive decision. She seizes a microphone, first attempting to rally the crowd in support of Lon before stunning everyone in attendance, Lon included, with a public, heartfelt marriage proposal. This ill-timed declaration proves catastrophic, shattering his concentration at the most critical juncture and causing him to fumble a pivotal goal. The public humiliation ignites a cold, seething fury within him. He turns on her, his voice dripping with contempt as he delivers a crushing, unequivocal public rejection. He states in no uncertain terms that he does not love her, and with devastating finality declares that even if she were the last woman in existence, he would never consent to make her his wife. Utterly devastated by this brutal dismissal, a heartbroken Mu withdraws from the field in a silence that speaks volumes of her profound pain, her spirit seemingly broken. The story then elegantly transitions forward in time, revealing a new and transformed chapter in their lives. Lon is now seen in the company of his steadfast and loyal friend Root, as they make their way to a bustling social event. Their journey is abruptly interrupted by the captivating sight of a supremely confident and strikingly beautiful DJ commanding the stage with an irresistible energy. This alluring and enigmatic figure is, in a stunning revelation, Mu herself, who has undergone a remarkable metamorphosis. Unaware of her true identity, Lon approaches the DJ booth and begins to flirt with the captivating stranger. Mu, recognizing him instantly, responds not with welcome but with loud and forceful indignation, branding him a pervert and immediately setting security upon him. Root manages to extract a thoroughly bewildered Lon from the escalating situation, but the chase is decisively on, initiated by a command from Mu's personal assistant. In a desperate bid to evade their pursuers, Lon suggests he and Root separate to confuse the guards. It is at this precise moment of chaos and vulnerability that a mysterious assassin emerges from the shadows, his intent unmistakably and terrifyingly homicidal. Lon narrowly evades the initial attack but is shot in the arm. Weakened by the painful injury and losing blood, his ability to flee diminishes rapidly and his situation grows increasingly dire. Just as all hope seems lost and the assassin closes in, Mu materializes from the crowd, pulling him swiftly into a nearby, concealed hiding place. With the killer scouring the area mere feet away, she acts with swift ingenuity and presence of mind, placing her own cap on his head and pulling him into a convincingly passionate, albeit entirely feigned, kiss to perfectly disguise his identity. This selfless life-saving act is motivated by a deeply personal and solemn vow, revealed in a brief but illuminating flashback, where a younger Mu promised herself she would always protect Lon, regardless of the personal cost or the pain he had caused her. Once the immediate danger has passed and the assassin has departed, Mu tends to his wounded arm, assessing the damage and assuring him that the injury is superficial and will heal with proper treatment. However, Lon, his judgment clouded by searing pain, paranoia, and his pre-existing biases, grotesquely misinterprets her timely rescue, becoming perversely convinced that she herself was the mastermind who orchestrated the entire attack. Wounded to her core by his baseless and hurtful accusation, Mu responds with a frustrated kick before walking away, her act of kindness repaid with suspicion. Root soon arrives on the scene to take a wounded and confused Lon to the hospital, while Mu observes their departure from a concealed vantage point, her expression a complex tapestry of lingering concern, fresh hurt, and unresolved feelings. Later, in a more private setting, Mu's perceptive personal assistant confronts her, intuitively questioning if her old, dormant feelings for Lon have begun to resurface and persist. Mu denies this emphatically and with visible frustration. This tense conversation is swiftly followed by a call from her father, who pressures her to abandon her hard-won DJ career and return to the family home. Moo, having discovered a genuine passion, purpose, and a powerful sense of independence in her work, stands her ground with firm resolve and refuses. This personal triumph and assertion of self, however, is soon eclipsed by profound tragedy when she receives an urgent, distressing call informing her that her father has been rushed to the hospital. She rushes to his side with a heart full of dread, only to be met by a doctor delivering the devastating news of his passing, a blow that plunges her entire family into a state of deep, paralyzing mourning. Their collective grief is cruelly compounded the very next day by the arrival of an official notice for a substantial, previously unknown loan her father had incurred, placing them in dire financial straits. Simultaneously, in his own world, Lon faces his own recurring domestic conflicts. His father berates him with familiar vitriol, labeling him lazy and incompetent, though his mother consistently and predictably leaps to his defense. Following the heated argument, Lon retreats to his room to seek solitude and relax, only to collapse suddenly and without warning upon entering. His panicked family rushes him to the hospital, where he remains unconscious and unresponsive. Clinging to their long-held superstitious beliefs, his family places a photograph of Moo by his bedside. Convinced that her presence and influence have always been a powerful talisman of good fortune for him, and that his recent streak of calamitous bad luck commenced precisely with her departure from his life. In a delightful parallel narrative thread, Moo's younger, more impressionable sister Patch secures employment at a vibrant gaming company, which is revealed to be owned by none other than Root. Their first meeting is nothing short of dramatic. Root heroically saves Patch from being struck by a heavy, swinging door in a scene charged with unexpected romantic tension, only to then harshly and inexplicably reprimand her, reducing the sensitive and embarrassed girl to tears. Despite the ensuing office gossip and whispers, Patch demonstrates her inner mettle by not backing down. Root's assistant eventually intervenes to de-escalate the situation, and in a gesture of reconciliation, Root offers Patch a highly coveted limited edition gaming model, a peace offering which thrills her immensely and hints at a softer side to his character. Back at the hospital, the narrative tension escalates as the assassin returns, determined to finish the job. As he moves in silently for the kill, Lon miraculously regains consciousness and, summoning a surge of adrenaline, manages to fight back with surprising vigor. His parents, witnessing this dramatic turnaround, immediately and fervently credit Moo's photograph and her purported mystical luck for his seemingly miraculous revival. Lon, however, ever the pragmatist, corrects them, attributing his alertness and survival to the effects of his medication, not to a superstitious belief. Now deeply and justifiably suspicious of the repeated targeted attacks, Lon tasks Root with compiling a comprehensive dossier on Moo, theorizing that she may be the secret mastermind behind the persistent attempts on his life. Root's investigation quickly discovers her new life as a live streaming DJ, and Lon, seeking a petty retaliation, begins to inundate her public chat with a stream of annoying, disruptive comments. Moo, refusing to be a victim, retaliates with brilliant strategy by publicly posting his user ID, effectively mobilizing her vast and loyal fanbase against him, a move that infuriates Lon, especially after she promptly blocks him, cutting off his access. Determined to confront her directly and uncover the truth, Lon and Root descend upon Moo's workplace. They bring her drinks under the guise of a truce and attempt to coerce a confession from her, cynically leveraging their knowledge of her now dire financial straits. They propose a high-stakes wager. If she can consume all the alcohol they provide without succumbing to its effects, she can take any sum of money she desires. To their utter and complete astonishment, Moo coolly downs every single glass without showing the slightest sign of intoxication, calmly collects a significant wad of cash, and departs with an air of unshakable composure. A persistent Lon pursues her into the night, insisting on a conversation, when Moo's sharp eyes spot the telltale red dot of a laser sight dancing on his chest. Without a second's hesitation, she shoves him to safety just as a gunshot echoes through the night, saving his life but sustaining a sharp cut on her own hand in the process. Root, observing the entire event unfold from a nearby building, confirms the shooter escaped into the darkness. Despite her unequivocal life-saving action, Lon's deep-seated suspicion of her only intensifies, his mind refusing to accept her as an ally. Under the crushing, inescapable weight of her family's financial crisis, a situation exacerbated when her mother faints from overwork and profound stress, Moo finds herself cornered with no viable alternatives. She is forced to reluctantly reconsider the marriage proposal from Lon's parents, as the union would instantly and completely resolve all of her family's debilitating debts. With a heavy heart, she agrees to the marriage. On the wedding eve, a conflicted Lon experiences a vivid, disconcerting dream where Moo is flirtatious and affectionate, a scenario he angrily and instinctively rejects. He awakens with a start to find the wedding preparations underway in stark reality, much to his parents' delight and his own profound displeasure. He attempts to refuse and rebel, but his parents, unshakable in their conviction regarding Mu's lucky influence, forcefully and unwaveringly insist. As the wedding day dawns, an internally conflicted Lon is further distracted by a manipulative call from his former flame, Nuke, who claims to be in severe physical and emotional distress. He hesitates, torn between his sense of duty and his desires, leaving Mu waiting anxiously at the altar, her heart sinking as she becomes convinced he will ultimately stand her up. However, in a dramatic turn, he arrives at the last possible moment with Root in tow, and the ceremony proceeds under a thick cloud of palpable tension and resentment. He coldly and cruelly informs Mu that he fully intends to make her existence a complete hell, setting a bitter tone for their married life before it has even properly begun. Their wedding night devolves into a farcical, immature battle for possession of the marital bed, culminating in Lon being unceremoniously relegated to the hard, unyielding floor. The following morning, Mu decides to exact a measure of playful revenge for his boorish behavior by using waterproof makeup to artistically draw on his face as he sleeps. When he awakens and attempts to wash the vivid marks away, he finds them stubbornly persistent, a humiliating reminder of her presence. Their contentious and combative relationship seamlessly extends to the professional sphere when Mu, now expected to take an active role in the family company, resorts to outright theft, stealing Lon's wallet and phone to forcibly compel him to accompany her to the corporate office. Nuke, ever the schemer and with the deliberate assistance of Lon's sister, also maneuvers to secure a position within the company, deliberately inserting herself into their daily dynamic and further complicating the already tense environment. Meanwhile, Mu's younger sister, Patch, finds herself developing a growing, confusing attraction to the complex Root, who is in turn genuinely impressed by her professional aptitude, sharp intellect, and dedicated work ethic. Jealousy, a corrosive and recurring theme, begins to poison Lon's thoughts. His latent possessiveness is violently ignited when he witnesses Mu collaborating professionally and comfortably with a male colleague. He follows her to her DJ gig later that evening, leading to a heated public confrontation that is abruptly and seriously halted when Mu receives a panic call informing her that her mother's health has taken a sudden and alarming turn for the worse. At the hospital, overwhelmed with fear, frustration, and familial responsibility, Mu slaps Patch across the face for leaving their ailing mother unattended. A deeply hurt and angry Patch flees the hospital in tears, and in her distraught state nearly causes a serious accident, but Root is there as if by fate to save her, injuring his own hand in the process. He uses this dramatic moment not to scold, but to gently help Patch understand her sister's immense pressure and perspective, facilitating a heartfelt and tearful reconciliation between the two sisters. As their mother gradually recovers and comes to stay with them, Lon and Mu obtain crucial security footage from the day of their car accident. A meticulous analysis of the video reveals a critical investigative clue. The assassin is left-handed. Lon once again enlists Root's help to vigorously investigate this promising new lead. One restless night, Mu is gripped by a terrifying nightmare, a premonition of Lon in mortal danger. She insists on a video call for reassurance, but the conversation unfolds awkwardly, and she ends up speaking primarily with Root, a development that sparks a palpable burning jealousy in Lon, who observes their easy rapport. The following day, in a move that further complicates the already bizarre living arrangements, Mu proactively secures Root's permission to move into his house, precisely because Lon is also residing there. This forced proximity and new domestic triangle only serves to heighten the simmering tension and fuel Lon's simmering, unacknowledged possessiveness. He eventually surrenders his wallet and phone to Mu preemptively, almost resignedly, as if accepting the inevitable fact that she would inevitably commandeer them through one means or another. The professional environment offers no respite from the relentless drama. Lon's brother-in-law subjects Mu to blatant sexual harassment in the office, leading to a sharp and public confrontation that also draws in Lon's sister, creating a messy familial scene. The romantic tensions reach a boiling point during a tense lunch where Lon is dining intimately with Nuke, and Mu arrives, pointedly accompanied by another attractive man. Consumed by a possessive jealousy she can no longer contain, Mu stages an elaborate fainting spell, collapsing directly onto Lon to physically disrupt his interaction with Nuke. Her subsequent peals of laughter at his genuine, if brief, concern provoke his deep anger and frustration. The segment concludes with Mu defiantly moving her belongings into Root's house, prompting a furious Lon to call his friend and demand an explanation for why he permitted such an inflammatory arrangement, leaving their complex, intertwined relationships poised on a knife's edge, charged with unspoken emotions and brewing conflict. In the ensuing confrontation, Root firmly asserts his authority as the homeowner, granting Mu his official consent to reside there and do as she pleases. However, when Mu requests that he place her suitcase in a room, he responds with deliberate provocation by carrying her luggage right back out of the house. This act incenses Mu, who retaliates by biting him sharply on the neck, declaring with fierce determination that she will not be so easily driven away. Lan, desperate to wash away the visible mark she has left on him, finds himself paralyzed with frustration, which only serves to amplify his anger. The tense atmosphere is pierced by a phone call from Nuke, who chooses this inopportune moment to propose to Lan and question whether he still harbors feelings for her. Before Lan can formulate a response, Mu deliberately enters his room, effectively sabotaging his chance to answer. She boldly states that since they are now a married couple, they ought to share a room, reigniting their classic battle for dominance, this time over who claims the bed, which ends with Lan once again pushing Mu onto the floor. Later, during a shared meal, Mu attempts a peace offering by ordering one of Lan's favorite dishes, presenting it to him with the option to eat if he wishes. He, however, coldly refuses the gesture. The psychological warfare escalates when Nuke sends Mu a photograph of the very location where Lan had once publicly rejected Mu and proposed to Nuke instead, taunting her with the announcement that she intends to propose to him again at that same spot. Simultaneously, she sends the evocative image to Lan. As Lan stands near the swimming pool taking her call, Mu snatches the phone from his hand and confronts Nuke, demanding to know why she cannot keep her distance from her husband. Enraged by her interference, Lan pushes Mu into the pool. As she struggles in the water, a flicker of concern crosses his mind that she might be drowning, prompting him to jump in to rescue her. In this vulnerable moment, Mu confesses that she still loves him. He, however, coldly rebuffs her, stating that he feels nothing but hatred and does not want her. He abandons her in the water, but Root arrives, offering a towel and a helping hand, and suggests she use his room. The domestic chaos reaches a new peak when Root's personal assistant arrives. As everyone prepares to sleep in the same room, Mu announces her intention to join them. Lan objects vehemently, but she ignores him. The PA, attempting to mediate, insists the couple, meaning Root and Lan, who are pretending to be in a relationship, should not be disturbed, and in a chaotic moment accidentally pushes Root on top of Lan, resulting in an unintended kiss between the two men. The PA flees the scene while Mu looks on with amusement. Both men demand she leave, but she stubbornly remains. The three are forced to share a bed, with Lan and Root lying awake in discomfort while Mu snores loudly. Irritated by her peaceful slumber, Lan shoves her, causing Root to laugh, which in turn prompts Mu to shove Root off the bed. The two men end up sleeping together on the sofa. The next morning, as Lan showers, Mu issues a warning, declaring that she knows he believes she is there to make him fall in love with her, but that such a thing will never happen. They then proceed to the office together. Later, as Lan is heading home, Nuke intercepts him, claiming her car has broken down and inviting him to her house. He drives her home and they share a dinner, during which Nuke accidentally spills something on her dress. While she changes, Lan seizes the opportunity to search her room. Nuke returns quickly and attempts to seduce him, but Mu bursts in, slaps Lan, and confronts Nuke about her actions with her husband, before dragging a bewildered Lan back home. Back at the house, Mu, wearing nightwear, heads for Root's room, having praised him extensively earlier, which had stoked Lan's jealousy. Lan, attempting to stop her from leaving their room, accidentally kisses her in the struggle, but she proceeds to Root's room regardless. Lan gives her a shirt to cover up, which she refuses until Root asks her to wear it. And she immediately complies. This obedience to Root, contrasted with her defiance of him, infuriates Lan. He finds them playing a game together and, jealous of their enjoyment, inserts himself between them to play with Mu. He loses repeatedly and takes a virtual beating from her in the game. An intoxicated Mu begins to dance, and eventually all three fall asleep in the same room. The following morning, Lan and Root wake up to find themselves in bed together and undressed, sending them into a panic as they wonder what transpired. Mu stands by, smiling. She had discovered their ruse of pretending to be a couple and had orchestrated this prank in retaliation. At the office, Lan and Mu are sent on company business to a factory. Mu feels a sense of foreboding about the trip. Her intuition proves correct when a heavy box nearly falls on Lan, and she pushes him to safety, injuring herself in the process. Lan rushes her to the hospital, and in the aftermath, his parents, hoping to mend their relationship, send them on a honeymoon to Korea. There they take cheerful photos to send to their parents, who are delighted by the apparent reconciliation. Root, the PA, and Patch also arrive, as per Lan's secret planning. Root is angry with his PA for failing to book enough hotel rooms, resulting in everyone sharing a single room. In the confined space, Patch accidentally kisses a sleeping Root. Meanwhile, Nuke continues her relentless pursuit, calling Lan's phone, which Mu answers, leading to another argument between the newlyweds. Their fight over the bed continues, with Mu eventually falling asleep while Lan lies awake. The next morning, Root is working out when Patch arrives, causing his heartbeat to race and making him behave strangely. The group reunites at Lan's hotel, where Root and Lan resume their act as a couple. Root reminds Lan they had to arrive early according to their plan. The The tense holiday is cut short when Moo receives a call that her father's health has severely declined. Everyone immediately travels to Thailand to be at the hospital where they learn of his passing. The family is plunged into grief. Lon returns home and finds himself missing Moo. His mother advises him to be with Moo during this difficult time, so he rushes to her house. After speaking with her maid, he enters and begins to care for Moo tenderly, even feeding her. When Patch arrives and insists on sleeping with her sister, Lon sleeps downstairs. The next day, they all attend her father's funeral. Moo's PA then provides her with information about Lon's sister Lake and her husband, suggesting Moo could use it against them. Meanwhile, Lon confides in his father at Root's house, revealing a scam is being run within the company and begins analyzing data with Root's help. Moo, her PA, and Patch arrive for lunch, but Lon refuses to come down. When Moo goes to his room to fetch him, he is working and refuses to join them, angering her. Root's PA then announces that Lon's father plans to transfer the entire company to Lon's name. As arguments erupt, Root reveals the truth. He loves Moo and their relationship was a pretense, they are not actually gay. In a fit of anger and confusion, Lon goes to propose to Nuke. Moo chases after him while Patch confronts Root, pushing him into a pool and walking away, hurt upon realizing his feelings for her sister. In a revealing scene, Lake's husband, Duh, is seen kissing Nuke, exposing their affair. Lon arrives at Nuke's house, sees Duh's car and calls him. Duh lies about his whereabouts. Lon then receives a call that his sister Lake is dangerously drunk. He rushes to her, cares for her, and upon sobering up, she blames him for her ruined life, leaving Lon heartbroken. As he leaves, he is struck on the head and knocked unconscious. Moo and Root find him and take him home. While Moo tends to his wounds, Lon, in his delirium, repeatedly calls out Nuke's name, devastating Moo, who leaves the room. Root seizes this moment to confess his love for Moo, but she, seeing him only as a friend, offers no reciprocation. Lon witnesses their intimate conversation and is consumed by jealousy, himself confused about his feelings for Moo and Nuke. When Moo later brings Lon his medicine, he arrogantly claims he is fine and doesn't need her care. As he tries to stand, he nearly faints, but Nuke, whom Root had summoned, catches him. Moo sees this and becomes furious. She goes directly to Lon's father, revealing the ongoing attempts on Lon's life. His father promises to help. Later, Duh shows Moo a video implying that Lon's sister's PA is the would-be killer. Moo confronts the PA and discovers she is left-handed, matching the description of the assassin. In another manipulative move, Moo brings the PA to tend to Lon while Nuke is flirting with him, successfully driving Nuke away. During a swim, Lon accuses Moo of posting their wedding photo online, which she denies. Root arrives, supports Moo, and pushes Lon into the pool. Lon's parents, however, see the posted photo and are delighted. Lon then announces he has no intention of joining the family company, angering his parents. Meanwhile, Nuke and Duh continue their affair and their plots against Lon. Root, with the PA's help, discovers that Patch was the one who leaked the photos. He forces her to confess to Lon. Root then suggests to Lon that his own sister may be behind the assassination attempts, as all evidence points toward her. Shattered, Lon turns to heavy drinking and Moo arrives to comfort him. At a family dinner, Moo asks Root about Lon's whereabouts and is told he is at the company. In reality, Lon is confronting his sister, who refuses to speak to him. As he leaves, Nuke and Moo arrive and a biker attempts to shoot Lon. Moo saves him and the biker escapes. Later, at Root's company, Patch sees Lon and Nuke together and calls Moo, pretending to be ill. When Moo arrives, she witnesses Nuke kissing Lon and leaves, heartbroken, contemplating divorce. News breaks that Lon has started his own company, pleasing his mother but enraging his father, who summons him home for an explanation. Lon states that Lake has been managing the business anyway, which only infuriates his father further. Later, Moo takes Lon to her house, plays soft music, and they share a dance, mending their friendship. Patch takes photos of the tender moment. Lon then visits his father's company to investigate the attacks. His father is happy to see him, but his sister is furious. During Patch's 18th birthday celebration at home, she gives pastries to Root's PA but cannot take her eyes off Root, for whom she has developed unspoken feelings. While Lon is with Nuke, who is again flirting with him, the killer arrives at Moo's house. Patch tries to save her sister and calls Root when Lon doesn't answer his phone. Lon arrives in time to fight the killer off, but the assailant escapes, leaving Moo deeply traumatized. Lon begins to care for her more attentively, and Root, seeing the genuine connection between them, realizes he is an obstacle. Both Lon and Moo are in love but have not yet admitted it to themselves. Root finds himself thinking more about Patch. Nuke and Duh continue their scheming in a restaurant where Root and his PA later arrive. Root informs Lon of their plans. At the office, Lon's sister insults Moo, but Lon defends her, prompting his sister to cruelly state that Moo only married him for money. Hurt, Lon leaves. Nuke later invites Lon to her house and he agrees, hopping to investigate her connection to Duh. There, Nuke asks him to divorce Moo. Lon pretends to agree, asking for time, as he has developed real feelings for Moo and aims to trap Nuke in her own web. The next day, Nuke insults Moo, repeating the accusation that she married for money. This time, Moo retaliates, shamming Nuke for trying to steal her husband. In a fit of anger, Moo goes to Lon's father and returns her engagement ring. Lon is devastated as he now knows he loves her but is pushing her away for her own safety, believing the killer is still a threat. Lon later gets into a physical fight with Da and realizes during the struggle that Da is the assassin. As Moo prepares to leave Lon's house, he tries to stop her, but Root and Patch arrive and take Moo with them. Da then sneaks into Moo's room where Root catches him. They fight and Lon arrives. Da escapes and Lon chases him to a secret location where Nuke and Lon's sister are also present. Lake discovers her husband's affair with Nuke and confronts her, but Da tries to kill her. Lon intervenes and saves his sister. They return home and inform their parents of everything. To force a confession, they leak a video of the affair. Enraged, Da attempts to kill Nuke, but Lon saves her again. He tries to make Nuke confess, but she remains silent. Some days later, at a party where Moo is the DJ, she spots Lon. The killer is also watching him. As the killer moves to stab Lon, Moo throws herself in the way and is injured. In the ensuing struggle, the killer's mask comes off, revealing Da. Root chases him and the police arrive to arrest him. At the police station, Lon's sister attacks Da. Moo is hospitalized in stable condition and her family visits. Lon's sister apologizes for her mistakes, and Nuke also apologizes to Lon before leaving quietly. After Moo is discharged, Lon proposes to her. She initially refuses, but he persists, kissing her and vowing never to leave her because of Nuke. Meanwhile, Patch's support helps Root's business flourish, bringing him happiness. At a family dinner, Moo's mother encourages her to give Lon another chance. Subsequently, Lon proposes to Moo in a hot air balloon in a deeply romantic gesture, placing the engagement ring on her finger and kissing her. Simultaneously, Root proposes to Patch and they share a kiss, beginning their own love story. The drama concludes with Lon and Moo joyfully taking their wedding photos, surrounded by their happy family and friends, bringing their tumultuous journey to a harmonious and celebratory end.